Hello again, everyone. Jeff Pirishad here with another bowling ball review video, and today we're going to take a look at a comparison between the MOTIV ExJ VIP limited edition ball and the MOTIV Supra using Kegel's Specto ball tracking technology. So how is this comparison going to work? I'm going to take 10 shots with each ball. Specto will compile the data into a chart, and then we're going to take a look at the charts side by side and see what we can learn. So the first ball up will be the ExJ VIP, and as you can see, this one is drilled 50 by 4.5 by 40. It's the same ball I used in my main ExJ VIP ball video. Before I took this video, I dried the right side of the lane up because both the Supra and the VIP are both shiny pearl balls that are a little more comfortable on dry lanes, so I just wanted to see what both of them could do in their comfort zone. Also, it's important to note that you cannot delete shots from Specto. You have to take 10 shots in a row, and that's what you're stuck with. So I'm showing you here, these are every one of the 10 shots I took. Some of them struck, some of them didn't, some of them hit the pocket, some of them didn't. So I don't get to pick and choose what I like. The VIP, as you might know already, uses the core from the MOTIV Octane, and it has the infusion cover that's on the Supra and also on the Trident, Nemesis, and the Jackal Flash. So the one thing that I noticed playing in this deep, I'm around the 5th arrow on these really dry lanes, is that the VIP isn't as comfortable playing this far deep as I expected a ball like the Supra to be, probably because it's a little earlier revving ball. It would want a little more head oil and not to cover this many boards in the beginning part of the lane. But some shots were fine from there if I got it to the right place, but there were some on this extreme over-under where if I got it in a little bit, it hooked too early, or if I just hit the wrong spot like this one, it just hooked a bit too early. So those are the 10 shots that I ended up with. And here's the compilation of all 10 shots. If you want to see it a little more closely, just pause the video here and you can see all of the categories. I clipped a couple of the things out, and here's the chart that the Specto makes for you. And we'll get back to that chart in a second. But first, here is the Supra, and you'll see the 10 shots with these. And actually, a funny thing happened when I made this video. These 10 shots, I kind of threw a 10-bagger. So I was hoping maybe to miss a little bit, and the comparison would be okay because I missed a couple on the VIP's 10 shots. But it is what it is. Like I said, you can't delete any shots. So the ramifications of that, though, are this. So the shots that I took with the Supra, they're tighter on the graph, so they're going to be much closer. So you would think that maybe it's not a good comparison with the 10 shots I took with the VIP, but remember there were a couple of shots that went light, one shot that went high, a couple that went right, a couple that went left. So on the average, the shots are going to be about the same, and that's kind of what this Specto looks at. It looks like the average of your shots. So I'm not super concerned about it, but we can still see kind of the qualities of the two balls, even with one of them being a lot more higher quality shots on my part than the first couple. But you can still see that the Supra loves playing this deep. It kind of likes those fade back kind of shots from the extreme left where you don't really get it out too far to the left, and it holds on really well. The cover is pretty clean. And then it snaps pretty hard on the back end of the lane, which is what a lot of people like, especially when lanes are dry like this. The VIP isn't as much a super dry lane ball, and it wants a little more head oil and it wants a little more to play right because it's just an earlier revving ball. So those are the 10 shots I took with the Supra, and probably the 10 best shots I've taken since this lockdown started. And here's the chart. Again, you can pause it to take a look at this. And here's the graph that Kegel Specto makes from that. And now we'll take a look at that. All right, so let's take a look at a comparison of the two charts side by side, see what we can learn from it. So we have the VIP, the 10 shots I threw with the VIP on the left, and the 10 shots that I threw with the Supra on the right. So we're going to start here at the bottom of the chart. I'm going to make a little red pen drawing here so you can see. All right, so the first thing is we look at the laydown point. So board 36.3, board 35.9. So I was about a half a board difference with where I let go of the ball. And at the arrows, it was even less than a half a board difference, 0.3. So out of my hand, it seemed to be okay as far as consistency. But you'll notice that the VIP, I was more left on both of these than the Supra. Because the VIP is a little more of an aggressive ball and it's going to hook a little earlier. The other thing you'll notice is if you go up to here to the breakpoint distance, the VIP's breakpoint was at 46 feet down the lane, while the Supra's was 45. That's because of this being a little further left. This is going to push a little bit more down the lane. And because it pushed a little more down the lane, the breakpoint board is 6.7 for the VIP and 7.3 for the Supra. So because the VIP is a little more of a mid-laney aggressive ball, I had to be a little further left. Because it was a little further left, it went a little longer down the lane because of the more oil, and then it actually pushed farther to the right down the lane than the Supra did. Then the other thing you'll see is when the ball came back and it's making its hook here, the entry board into the pocket was 15.7 for the VIP and 16.6 for the Supra. So even though the VIP was about a half a board to the right, by the time this hook happened, on average, it wasn't a half a board to the right in the pocket. It was actually almost a full board, 0.9. So the Supra actually came back a lot more on the back end than the VIP did. So let's actually see. Let me erase all these reds. And so let's go. So we have a laydown board of 36.3 and the breakpoint board is 6.7. So for this part of travel, that difference is 29.6 boards that it covered to the right. For the Supra, up until, actually that's up until the breakpoint. So up until the breakpoint for the Supra, it's going to be starting on the 35.9 board and it's going to 7.3. So that's 28.6. So the Supra covered 28.6 boards going to the right, where the VIP covered 29.6 boards going to the right. So the VIP's already covered one more board going out than the Supra did. Coming back in, this part here, 6.7, it started on board 6.7 and ended on 15.7. That's a 9 board swing. So that's 9 boards. And the same thing for the Supra. Show my little arrows. It started on board 7.3. It ended on 16.6. That's 9.3. So even though the VIP was into the dry more, it was actually further right into the dry. The Supra had a little more of a flip on the back end that actually came back harder than the VIP did, even though the VIP went further out into the dry. Again, because we're talking about the VIP being a little more of a mid-laney ball, where the Supra is a little more of a back-endy ball. The total hook, 29.6 and 9, is 38.6 total boards of hook. And for the Supra, 28.6 plus a 9.3 is 37.9. So 37.9 total boards of hook on the Supra, 38.6 total boards of hook on the VIP. So as you can see, they're a little close. It's about between a half board and a board difference on hook, but the way they hooked is different, and I think that's the important thing to take out of the comparison between these two balls. Is it's not so much the amount of the boards you can cover, it's how they cover those boards. If you need something that's going to be a little, just a bit earlier and not as much of an angular, fast reaction, the VIP is going to be something that's a little more circular, not a whole lot, but a little more. It's a little more up front, a little less on the back end, and you can see that by the numbers here. And the same thing with the Supra, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be a ball that likes to get down the lane more, and it's going to like to react more on the back end. So just looking at the numbers, it kind of supports what we've all seen anecdotally just in throwing the ball that the VIP is a little more revvy and it wants to start up just a little earlier. So the further left you move, the less comfortable it's going to be, the more comfortable the Supra is going to be. Once you get, I'm playing fifth arrow here. I mean, keep that in mind. The VIP is a great ball for, I think, this part of the lane here, and the Supra is a better ball for this part of the lane here. For somebody like me that hooks the ball a lot, obviously, if you don't hook the ball as much as I do, you can take those both a little to the right. But I think the same thing still applies. The less of a skid flip you want, the VIP is going to be better for something that gets down the lane and it's a little smoother. And when you move in a little bit more than what you're used to, then the Supra is going to be a little better. So that's what I saw from this. I hope you liked this video. As usual, thank you very much to MOTIV Bowling and to Carlos Tabone here at the Kegel Connection Pro Shop for setting me up on the Kegel Specto to film this video. If you'd like to see more of my videos and get notified when they come out, please consider hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a thumbs up. Until next time.